Without any additional stimulus to continue to lift up the economy as the political divide between the right and the left here in the United States continues, we're starting to see a slight decline in asset prices. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Florida Stacker. I am a gold, silver, and platinum metals accumulator. I like to save my money in hard physical assets. I also invest in the stock market and real estate and other things. I like to keep a well-diversified portfolio. Welcome to this unedited video. For those of you that have been subscribed to my channel, you've probably been aware that I haven't been publishing many videos over the last 2 weeks, and that's because I did take a lightning strike here in the neighborhood. Not sure exactly where the lightning strike occurred, but it did a lot of damage to things in my neighborhood, including my desktop computer, where I have my Adobe editing software, where I keep everything to do my videos. So I've been without that. I had to order a new solid state drive, a new hard drive, and a couple other little bits of hardware and software. It's going to be ready by Monday. So for now, we're going to go with this unedited video. So I apologize for the lack of the intro as well as the lack of any kind of musical content. But let's get to it, all right? So let's look first at silver. Now, as I mentioned in the opening, the lack of stimulus in the economy right now, I think the market had kind of priced in some additional stimulus, a second round of stimulus through the HEALS Act that has yet to happen. And I think anybody that has got their eyes wide open understands why it hasn't happened yet. And that's because it's an election year. And we are under, I think we're about 75 days or so, approximately, from the election. It's going to be bitterly contested either which way it goes. Right now, it appears that the left is unwilling to adjust their bill that they proposed, the House of Representatives, to the Senate on the $3.4 trillion stimulus package that the right is saying is laced with all kinds of unnecessary, what's the term they like to use? I guess extra fat, right? There's a lot of fat on the bones in this package. So it's not something that the more physically, even though not of late, conservatives don't want to do. They don't want to do it. So it's all held up. It's an election year. I don't likely see us seeing anything through our U.S. Congress being approved prior to the election, okay? And that's why President Trump did the he used his executive powers, right? Which we'll see how that all plays out in order to give a little bit more than 6.5%, I think it is, back to us in our Social Security money that is withheld. Now, I don't know how that's all going to play out yet. I don't want to make this too political, but this is a financial channel, right? I'm not a financial advisor, but we have to follow the markets. We can't just focus on the shiny, which I like focusing on the shiny. I really do. I love the coins, like this peace dollar right here. Really do love the coins. But this is also a financial channel, so let's talk about that. There's a lot of things driving the prices. Okay, so without the additional stimulus, assets in general are coming down. Now, there's always going to be the FOMO factor. It's always going to happen. If you're a fan of Jim Cramer, for instance, I know not everybody is, but he likes to say there's always a bull market somewhere. That's kind of his catchphrase, right? And nowadays, with shorting as well as futures contracts and stuff, I mean, you really can play the market any which way you want to go. I'm not really that detail-oriented. I don't get into it that deep. I do have dividend-paying stocks in a brokerage account as well as a 401k that's got some dividend-paying stocks as well as growth stocks. I do believe in stocks. I think that companies are designed by nature to make money. So if you pick the right companies, obviously, then over time they are going to make money. Now, that brings into question the concept of money and currency. And I personally am a believer that the dollar is currency. So I have to be careful when I say that dividend-paying stocks are going to pay me money, because really it's not. It's really just a currency. The dollar, the yen, the euro, it's all currency. Money has to be backed by something. And I like to back my money in something tangible like gold. This right here is the original money. It's been around a lot longer than any of us here have been around. So if you want to go ahead and hit that thumbs down button, cool, go ahead. Guess what? Long after you're gone, these things will still be around and they'll still be money. Your opinion doesn't really matter. 5,000 years plus has proven it. So while I like generating additional currency that I can convert into money, as well as do things like purchase my house, retire early, go on vacations, and live a higher quality life, for my savings, for my personal, outside of the financial market wealth, I like to hold it in precious metals. So we'll see what's going to happen here, but I'm going to continue accumulating. not nearly as much as I was last year and earlier this year, but I did get a package in from Texas Precious Metals. You know I like to order 2 American Silver Eagles from them, typically every week. And I don't want my cost average to go up too high, right? Silver Eagles have gone up in price. Actually, I see them coming down now, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So I'm just keeping it to about 2 ounces of silver per week right now, but I'm going for the most recognizable stuff. And so let's take a look here. I got these for $70.62. That works out to be $30 at about 31 cents. No, that's not right. $35 at about 31 cents per coin. Apologies, not a math major. But I like ordering from Texas Precious Metals because their prices for their silver American Eagles are just a little bit higher than some of the bigger bullion dealers. And they do ship them in these nice cardboard boxes here that keep everything safe. They offer free shipping under $99, right? And JM Bullion right now, which is usually my go-to dealer, they've got $1.99 for free shipping. So if you just want to pick up 2 ounces of silver and you can't make it to your local coin shop, you got, you know, Texas Precious Metals. It's a good place to go through. And I do all of my purchases, so you know, at least the vast majority of them, using like a bank withdrawal, the ACH purchases, to keep my buying cost as low as possible. That, of course, is the slowest way to do it because once I place the order, it takes about 4 or 5 days before the silver coins even ship from Texas, and then another couple days for them to get here. All in all, it's about a 9 to 10 day turnaround time between the time I place the order and when they show up. So I got 2 American Silver Eagles here, paid about 35 bucks each, so I'm already in the red on these. No big deal, just 2 ounces, and I'm stacking these for the long haul. I've got at least, hopefully, if I live that long, God willing, if my health holds, because I'm in my young 40s, I'm hoping that, you know, I live at least another 20 to 30 years, and I plan to work at least another 20 years, so I hope I live a lot longer than that. But I'm going to continue to accumulate silver and gold and platinum, as well as other assets to build my wealth. So there you go, 2 more silver American Eagles from Texas Precious Metals, about 35 bucks each. You can get them today, I saw, through JM Bullion. If you're willing to do the, you know, $1.99 purchase, so that's going to take about 6 American Silver Eagles to get over that, to get right around that $200 point to get free shipping. Otherwise, you have to pay $7.99 in shipping, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay for shipping. I'm converting currency to money. I don't want to pay a fee for that. And I don't want to worry about taxes in the future either. That's another thing. I see a lot of these videos out lately, and I've watched them, and sometimes they make some really good points where they're talking about stocks and how stocks are where you got to put your money. And I do believe in stocks, but I also believe in keeping quite a bit of money in precious metals. Real money. Money you can hold. You know, the wife comes in right now and says, "Hey, hon, I need $10,000. And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, because I have this investment opportunity." I'm like, "Okay, hold on. I'll call my brokerage in the morning. I'll liquidate some ETFs. I have to wait a couple of days for those funds to clear. Then I can transfer it to our checking account. Oh, by the way, I have to pay a capital gains tax." Screw that. I'd rather just take some of this. If this opportunity came up, which this is completely fictional, I can take this right to the coin shop. I can sell it here in the community, to the stacking community, all the accumulators that are out there. And everything I've got here is very reputable, very liquid stuff. So if you're doing it right, if you're taking some of your money and you are investing for the long term in businesses, that's great. Most of our millionaires here in the country are business owners. I mean, that's just a fact. It's not something that you can really argue with. And I think if you're really going to make a lot of money over the long term, convert a lot of currency, that is, into real money, you know, being a business owner is a great way to do that if you can make it successful. But for most of us that perhaps decided to become tradesmen or women, either go to college and get a degree and work for a corporation, serve in our military like I did, and now I'm in the Fortune 500 career field. So I'm not working for myself, I'm working for someone else, but it works for my family. We've got great insurance. We live in a good part of the country and make a good living. So not all of us can go out or want to go out right now and risk everything that we have to start a business, but we can still be involved with businesses by investing in the stock market. And that's what I do, but only in top quality stocks. I honestly don't own Tesla. That would have been would have been nice. I remember looking at it when it was $140 about a year ago and going, nah, no dividend. Not for me. I don't own Apple. I do own some Microsoft, not much, but I do own Microsoft. I was late to the game on that one. But most of my stuff is in pretty boring stuff like utilities, telecommunications, healthcare, some energy, not a whole lot, real estate, monthly paying dividends and stuff like that. But for the bulk of it, let me tell you something. There's just something about holding your currency in your hands as well as turning that into money. There's just something about it. You know, it's nice whenever I get the opportunity, I get paid, and I can move some digital money over to, my brokerage account, my currency, and I can convert that into a couple of shares of this or that, and I can watch those numbers on my computer screen grow, but I can't hold that in my hands. So let's talk about silver and what's going on in the market. I kind of ran on a little long there about metals. So let's go ahead and move to silver. And silver, of course, has had a great year. Actually, I think it's the best performing asset of 2020. And that has something to say about silver being in a kind of a bear market slumber state for 5 or 6 years. Silver has definitely, how should I say, gotten some tailwinds from the beer flu, the virus that has impacted our world, the lack of faith in our government and their printing of currency has also helped the monetary metal. So you saw, in the beginning when the virus first kicked off, everyone sold their assets. They sold stocks, they sold gold, they sold silver. There's a lot of fear in the market. And I try to tell my American viewers, especially those American viewers that haven't spent a lot of time outside of the United States, that a lot of people in other parts of the world really view the greenback as a safe haven asset. I'm not joking here. I've been in Eastern Europe. I've been in the Middle East. I've been in parts of the world, I should say, where merchants would rather accept your dollars than they would the local currency, or where you have a traveler, let's say from Europe, that travels down to the Middle East to go purchase gold at like the souks or the gold souks they have there, clothes or electronics. They're not going to convert their Eastern European currency, that is, into the local dinar or whatever the country is. They're going to convert that into dollars, or they're just going to bring the dollars with them because they hoard them. They hold on to them. Dollars are important in certain parts of this world. I mean, just go over to Eastern Europe, go over to the former Soviet bloc, go down to the Middle East, go to United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, some of these countries I've been to in some of the markets, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So people wanted to hold the dollar because there was faith in it, that it was going to hold them through where their currency would fail. And not everyone has access, of course, to gold, silver, or other assets, right? Not everyone can, in certain countries, just go out and buy a rental property that generates income. There's socialist countries out there, there's dictatorships, you name it. So a lot of people like to hold on to their dollars, and they also like to hold on to precious metals like I do too. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So let's take a look at the dollar and what the dollar's doing before we get into silver here real quick. And it looks like I'm going to go ahead and use my keyboard here and type in the index here to see how the dollar is doing. All right. The US dollar index, DXY. If you type that into any of your browsers, DXY, you'll see the US dollar index, which is an index is a measurement, and they take the strength of the dollar as compared to a basket of other global currencies, really popular currencies, like we mentioned, like the euro, the yen, the pound. And when the number increases, right now it's 93.20. When the number increases, when the dollar gains strength as compared to other currencies, it usually is negative for gold. The dollar and gold are very well inverse correlated. So when the dollar goes up, you're going to see gold go down. When the money supply expands, as it did when we had the CARES Act, as well as everything else that's been going on for years now, and you have low interest rates, a couple of things happen. One, the strength of the dollar coming down is really good for gold because other currencies can now buy gold at a better price because they have to convert their currency into dollars in order to buy gold because gold is valued in the dollar, like oil. If you go to the COMEX market any place in the world, it's going to be valued in dollars. So there's a conversion that has to take place. And all currencies are changing daily, right? Their valuation compared to Other currencies are changing daily, so we see those fluctuations in gold's spot price. So we've seen a weakening dollar, which has really been driving gold up lately. And then there's also low interest rates. And the reason that low interest rates are so good for gold is really the institutional investor, the investor that's looking for safety with their wealth. And typically that would be something like bonds or certificates of deposit. I've talked about this in a couple of my videos. But with interest rates so low right now, what the federal banks are charging banks, the borrowing rate, banks are also not willing to pay a whole lot in return. So there's not a whole lot of people out there that, at least I would say, knowledgeable people out there that are willing to lock up a lot of dollars into bonds, like long-term stuff. They're really not looking to lock away because the yields that are being paid, first of all, the bond prices have gone up and the yields themselves are lower. So you're paying more for the asset and you're getting less currency back. So with gold and silver, kind of, especially gold over the last few years, gold always makes its move first, really rising. We've seen it come 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way up over $2,000 over the last year and a half. And that's gotten a lot of attention. So safe haven assets like gold and silver, especially gold, have become a lot more attractive for those value savers, value investors. It doesn't pay a dividend, obviously, right? You're not getting any kind of a kickback, any kind of a currency kickback. But the nice thing is that 1 ounce of gold today will still be 1 ounce of gold in 100 years. And gold is a finite item. There's only so much of it. The Treasury can print as many dollar bills as they want until they run out of the ability to print paper. They can print as many as they want, but you guys have seen what's happening in Venezuela. You've seen with them weighing their money. It's easier to weigh the money than it is to count it all out. So when the currency of your country takes a hit like that, especially in places where socialism is rampant, hopefully that never happens here in the United States, you're going to see a strongly devaluing currency, and voila. Someone like the dollar, though, gosh, that would have global impacts if the dollar were to run into a hyperinflation situation or just totally lose credibility. So anyways, we talked about what's driving, what generally drives gold prices up, which is, of course, a weakening dollar and these lower interest rates, which have, brought more investors into the gold and silver market. But now let's read an article here real quick about silver. And I think this is a good one. And this is from Daily Forex. And the title of this article is Silver Forecast, Showing Volatility as silver builds support. So the article goes on to say the silver markets gapped lower to kick off the trading session on Thursday, as we may have gotten a little bit ahead of ourselves in the short term. And of course, the US dollar did gain a bit, and that's true. The US dollar did gain a bit during the latter part of last week, and that put pressure on precious metals. What you do not see on the daily candlestick is the fact that the market rallied to fill the gap almost immediately, fell again, and then rallied again. This tells me there is significant resiliency underneath, and silver should continue to attract a certain amount of buying pressure. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've seen this before, and this is something you guys need to look out for. When an asset is going up really, really fast, remember, it can come down really, really fast, especially when it's being traded on the paper market. For my physical accumulators, you either got to log on, make the purchase, wait for the silver to show up, or you can go down to your coin shop and convert some of your local currency into gold and silver. But in the paper markets, it's really almost instantaneous. I can purchase an ETF, a silver ETF, for instance, or a gold ETF, and then I can sell that. It does take some time for that currency to get back to my my checking account where I can withdraw it and actually have fiat in my hands. But the point I'm trying to make is you can get in and out of gold and silver and even platinum through the electronic markets very quickly. I do think that those paper markets are going to continue to drive silver up. I mean, nothing's really changed, folks, okay? The election's not over. We don't have a cure for the virus, which is probably going to take a lot longer than the news channels are telling us. Let's just be real. I mean, you can remove the bureaucracy, but that doesn't really make the vaccine that more effective, in my opinion. I think there's still we don't know what side effects. I mean, have you ever watched TV and a pharmaceutical commercial comes on? It's a minute-long commercial where 20 seconds shows some happy person, at the park or pushing their kids on the swing set. Everyone's so happy, and they talk about this prescription drug that helps them with whatever ailment that it's aimed at. And then there's 40 seconds of side effects, and they go over them so fast. I mean, some of them are pretty crazy, right? Hair falling out, anal leakage. I mean, come on. You got some really serious side effects from some of this stuff. And these are drugs that went through, a very long vetting process and have been approved. So I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be the first guy to just run out and go, yeah, stick that needle in me, I'll take it. All right, but that's just me. You make your own choices. All right, so looking at the situation, the Federal Reserve continues to flood the market with liquidity. Well, okay, that is true and not true. And therefore, I think it makes quite a bit of sense that the US dollar loses strength over time. I agree with that. This, of course, helps silver markets as well as other precious metals markets due to the fact that it takes more of those devalued greenbacks to buy an ounce. To the downside, I think there is a significant amount of support that starts at the $26 level, extending down to the $25 level. Furthermore, I also think that the 50-day EMA will come into play as support if we fall from here as well. Do not be wrong, I recognize that we may have just made a lower high, but I do not think that this trend is over. Okay, I'll leave the rest of the article for you to go and read. But the bottom line here is that the author here, and this is once more from the Daily Forex, sees long-term strength in silver. However, he sees it kind of consolidating in the $25 to $26 level as a new floor until I personally think we need a little bit more stimulus. We may go between this $25 to $28 pattern like we did with silver when it was kind of between 16 and 18. It seemed like, it would be in the 18s for a couple of weeks, a month, and be down in the 16s, 18s. I'm talking earlier this, earlier this year and last year. Let me get a drink of tea here real quick. But we're gonna need to see some additional catalyst, I think, at this point to really see silver in the short term. That is before the election, the next let's say the next 90 days or so, shoot the moon. Now, I think there's going to be some implications, of course, based on how the election comes out. I think the markets will move a little less if President Trump is reelected because, I mean, he's already in office, right? He's already in office. We already know what his policies are. We already know what he wants to do. But what we don't know is we hear what Joe Biden says he's going to do, but how much control of that does he really have? I'm skeptical. That's just me. So I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of movement here in the short term. I think we're going to stay in a trend. But long term, especially post-election, I would definitely look at silver, for another gain. And that's why I'm going to continue to accumulate physical silver. I'm going to continue to look especially for that silver that I know is highly liquid. So my focus is going to remain on American Silver Eagles, for instance, 90% silver like the Peace dollars, Morgan dollars. Let's go ahead and grab some half dollars here and some quarters. And for those of you that have made it this far that don't know what constitutional or junk silver is, it's old U.S. silver coinage, 1964 and before. Dimes, quarters, half dollars, and of course dollars. So got some beautiful Peace dollars, half dollars, Morgan dollars. This is all wonderful stuff. And sometimes, with the exception of the Peace and Morgan dollars, unless, of course, you're getting them very heavily circulated, you can get, the circulated silver like this quarter here for a pretty good price if you look in the right spots. Now, it's not as favorable as it used to be, but, of course, spot has really gone up. But the premiums, that is what you pay over the intrinsic value of the bullion at that time, based on spot price, they're pretty low with the 90% silver. So going to stick to that. And obviously also stick to some gold. But before we end this video, I'm going to open up one more package here because it's going to foreshadow an upcoming purchase. And I can tell you it's not going to be gold. And it's also not going to be silver. It's actually going to be the other precious metal, perhaps the more precious metal. Geez, that was bad. Got a lot of stuff here, the camera in front of me and everything. This platinum eagle right here. So I'm going to look to pick up some more platinums. Let's go ahead and grab this other package. I'll tell you right now, there's not a coin in it, so I've been saving here for a couple of, about 6 weeks now, so couple's not the right word. If you've been following the channel, you know I haven't been picking up as much silver as I was a little earlier. Once silver crossed over 21, then 22, 23, 20, it just kept going, and I wasn't sure where it was going to stop. So I wanted to kind of just watch, buy my 2 ounces of silver each week, and hold on to what I had, right? Being thankful for what I had already accumulated when prices were lower. But I did pick this up on eBay, and it's not really anything for the camera, but I'll just go ahead and show you what it is. And it is a capsule. It is a 30 millimeter capsule. I actually have 3 of them, and 30 millimeter capsules in this width are perfect for gold and platinum Canadian maple leafs. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a Canadian maple leaf, a platinum Canadian maple leaf, and I'm getting close. I'm watching spot price right now. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and move over to spot price, and I'm going to hit the refresh. It is 8:44 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States, and I see spot price, that is gold ask price, of $1,945.50. So gold is down $5.50 since it opened. Silver is down 8 cents, and it's currently trading at an ask price of $26.72, so a little bit down from where it opened. And platinum also really kind of just treading water right now at $929.30. That is a change of 80 cents, which is not much from its open. I'm going to be watching closely, though, folks, because I saw platinum spot price get down to $912 on Friday. It was about a little bit before noon, I believe. And on JM Bullion, they did have some 1 ounce platinum coins. At this time, it was a Queen's Beast coin as well as an Australian kangaroo, and they were hanging out right around $1,000. And I'd really like to pick up my next platinum coin for under 1,000. So that's what I'm kind of hoping out for. I'm kind of holding out and hoping for. I know it's only, you know, I'd be paying about 25 bucks more than that. I'd probably be paying about 1,025, 1,030 right now if I found the best price I could find on a 1 ounce platinum Canadian maple leaf. But I like a challenge. So let's just see what happens. We'll see, especially around 8 o'clock in the morning, between 7 and 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Mondays. There tends to be some pretty good movements in spot price. And lately it's been kind of down. And then when the U.S. market opens up, we see that gold, silver, platinum, they kind of trend up a little bit. That is on average, not every day, obviously. But on average, that's what I've been witnessing this year. So if I don't get the chance to pull the plug and pick up 1 ounce platinum maple leaf here in the next couple of days, then, you know, I might just go for whatever price is going at that time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So anyways, guys and girls, it's been a while since I've made a video, and I know this one was long, but I just wanted to kind of talk about what was going on in the market and what I'm buying. I've got about 5 ounces of silver coming in. Shipping has been really slow. I'm sure you guys have noticed that, right? It's taken a lot longer for some of this stuff to come in. So I've got, I think it's actually closer to 8 ounces of silver, because some of my some of the orders I placed for a couple ounces, you know, 2 ounces, 3 ounces, were a couple of weeks ago, and they haven't gotten here yet. So we'll be unboxing them soon, and then stay tuned for that platinum pickup, which is coming. All right, everybody, I hope you stay tuned to the markets. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hope everyone's safe and feeling well, very healthy. And I'll have another video out here for you soon. We should get that computer back Monday afternoon, I'm hoping. I've got to download some stuff, get connected to the cloud, get some things all set up, but we'll get some videos out here again, more routine videos coming up this week. All right, that's all I got for today, everybody. Stay safe, keep stacking, and we'll talk to you soon.